Ugh, what in the hell? Oh, Lord. Y'all, look. I was trying to tighten this damn thing. Oh. Ah! Okay. So, I was not trying to. Ugh, I went for my walk and everything this morning. I'll just do that because whatever. Um. All right, so we're gonna do an energy check-in for the weekend. God Almighty, it's the blinds. Guess the direction the light was going. Fuck if I know, y'all. All right, welcome to Weird or Woo Woo, where I'm weird, we get a little woo woo. I am excited because the irises are finally coming up, and I I I got some, and they're on my altar. I'm just white, guys. The light beams off of my face. Okay, it's just gonna beam off my face. Alrighty. I get the feeling of like inner, like something is thick, but there's this. I'm ready. I know I said I was like, but there is an energy of that, all right, here goes. Um, I don't know. I feel like I'm in a start line, but it reminds me of, you know how, like, when you the first time you go to college, not everybody knows this, but, the first time you become an adult, you go to college, you have your first real job, and you got your apartment and all kinds of stuff, right? And you get excited, like, you're excited about it. Yet, when you're starting over again, like, this isn't your first time embarking out, this is the next, like, you're doing it again. So, kind of, like, think that it's the idea of, like, you went to college, you got a job, you worked, and then you are going back for a higher degree at a later time in life. So you're kind of like, the novelty of the excitement isn't nearly as intense, and but you're like, you do know what you're facing, you understand this time around what it's going to take, you understand the implications, the impact, and you're ready for it, you're ready for the new beginning. That's kind of like what the energy is. Or, let's say a person who has been married and they're starting over and they're getting their own apartment, and it's like getting your own apartment for the first time all over again, only more wizened. It's like your second, this isn't your first rodeo, it isn't your first time around the track kind of thing. So there's this understanding of, like, you can feel the intensity or immensity of the new beginning, you're ready for it, you want it. It is exciting, but there's a more groundedness with this new start. So, um, let me eh, I should have stretched after I worked out. Oh my god. Just don't get hot, okay? Ugh. Some days I don't like things touching me. Some days I'm like, oh my god, the collar. And then other days, whatever. So, okay. Here we go. Let me give you my spiel. You are a sovereign being. And wow, what is going on? You are a sovereign being of your life. You get to determine if, how, when, where, why any of these messages might apply. So my recommendation is to never Cinderella shit to make it fit. Fallen Angel Oracle. 44, turmoil. A lion, discovery. Transformation, take advice. This turmoil feels like inner turmoil. Obviously, this isn't something I feel that is necessarily external. It's not your environment. It's not an incident or a situation. It is something that you're experiencing. There's you're having just some level of turmoil about something, but then you come to a place of discovery where it's like I feel like the discovery squelches the turmoil because the turmoil is for a lack of clarity, understanding, seeing something accurately, a knowing. So there's a discovery that happens. They're showing me the full moon. For the love of God. Mm. Sorry, my coffee. Somebody's figuring something out, and that is what leads to a level of transformation. But the thing is that I feel like this changes something internally, not just like, oh, I'm no longer in turmoil over something. I'm kind of like in the know. I feel at peace with something, or I feel like it's not even peace. I just feel like I understand and I know. I understand and I know. I get it. Um, that comes from the discovery of something, figuring something out, coming to an understanding of something, and then it leads to some kind of transformation. But I don't want to go like, oh, the transformation is you were in turmoil and now you're not. No, it leads to some other type of transformation, both internally and externally. So your external environment is going to reflect that. Um, take advice. This one feels a bit um wonky because I want to say that there's individuals you should not be taking advice from, but you also may get some solid advice. And underneath we have help and healing. So, but we're not pulling that. For somebody, you have to take your own advice. What's the advice? That's the one that seems a bit. I don't think we really give a shit, honestly, what the turmoil is about. Like what you were somehow conflicted about and feeling like very unsettled with. But I almost feel like it doesn't matter what you figured out or what came through, what you discovered that gave like a it settled your soul is what I want to say. And when you're no longer conflicted about something, when you're no longer feeling that inner turmoil over something, I want to say your lens, your perspective changes, and therefore what you choose, what you do, and also how things unfold externally to you. So something that changes internally will ignite a change externally. So you're about to change something. Your life is going to go through a transformation. And there's some advice. And why do I feel I'm not so sure I don't know if I should take this. Meaning, like, it feels like more of the source that it comes from than the advice itself. Like questioning some kind of advice that comes through. So you may have people in your life really trying to give you advice, but you know not to. I feel like saying you already don't feel aligned with what they're saying because you're like, I don't know. But there's something about you recognizing, like, there's a recognition now with this different perspective. There's a recognition when someone's giving advice, you're like, it's almost like not for the right reasons. And you understand who or what not to trust. But I do feel like there's something that comes through. What is this something? Hermetic tarot. Now, I did say for somebody, Spirit's saying take your own advice. Just saw the universe. I do think part of the transformation is no longer listening. Like, there's a perspective. I feel like there's a particular person that you no longer you're gonna recognize not to listen to, not to even say anything to. I told you I saw the universe and it came out. Page of Cups. Knight of Cups. I think somebody's going to caution you not to do something that you know you're supposed to do. And because you no longer have conflict about it, their advice or whatever it is that they say, their input like you can see it for what it is now. Like, it has a very sabotagey self interest. Like, why would you say that? Like, why are you trying to discourage me from something? And so that tells you not to confide in that person. This is what I always say. When you become in integrity with yourself, words, actions, and energy all match. You don't experience that sense of turmoil. There's a sense of knowing, peace, understanding. There's a quiet. And so when something isn't right, it's a lot like when you have integrity within the self, your discernment is on point because you know what's yours and what's not. You know what aligns, what doesn't, what hits, what doesn't, what lines up vibrationally and like it's easy to spot. When you've got this going on inside, that's when it becomes difficult. That's when discernment becomes uh, when you don't trust yourself. So when somebody says something that's so out of alignment with what the new perspective and new lens paradigm that you've come to, like you're like you start to question it. You start to see it. Ace of Wands on the bottom. Queen of Cups. Universe feels like like an opportunity. I hear Robin Williams' voice go, "Are you ready for a new adventure?" It's like completing one journey. That's why the universe card is here. I said in the very beginning, it feels like somebody's doing something, but it's not your first rodeo. It's not your first time around. So you're about to embark on a new fool's journey, only wizened with discernment, with understanding, more rooted than you were the first time around. Because the fool goes all the way through the major arcana. The universe card is the world card. It is about wrapping that up and embarking on something new. That's the reason why it indicates new opportunities. And so someone is about to embark on the fool's journey again. And that might be what this person that's in your life is trying to caution you. And are you sure you should, like, they want you to stay stuck on your original journey when it has served its purpose. It is done and over with. Okay. Um, I think you're going to recognize how some of the advice that you've received has kept you stuck, has kept you again from embarking on the fool's journey again, but with wisdom this time, with a level of knowing and discernment. So somebody's about to, it's like standing at the precipice. Um, Somebody's about to embark on a new journey. Page of Cups. I think this is the energy that someone is beginning their journey with. This absolutely feels like this does feel like the risk. This does feel like the initiation. Um, I just keep seeing somebody like it's an olive branch, but it's a cup. You know what I mean? It's like extending something to someone that then somebody's going to give something a try. I am definitely getting like testing the waters with the Page of Cups, which is, this is not coming in hot and heavy. It's, I'm going to reach, like, there's a reaching out to somebody. There is a connecting with somebody. There is, I keep getting like approaching as a friend with the hopes that there's something more. And then with the intent of and desire to take it to a romantic level. The Knight of Cups is giving me a romantic level. Page of Cups is giving me the flirting, the banter, the initiation, where somebody's just a friend right now. Um, with the hope that somebody's willing to receive, because the Queen of Cups is the most receptive energy of all the queens. Open-hearted, willing, receptive. Somebody receptive to this. There's the devil. This is the the path you've been on, the journey you've been on that's now done, and you get to begin again. There was that person that wanted to keep you stuck. I don't even know if they wanted to, but I do think that they were projecting in a manner where there is a level of self-interest where they wanted you to kind of like just stay on this journey. This is the right journey. You know, it's a good journey. You should stay on this one. I feel like this is the list of reasons that someone has given you that because this is called the master of matter, like, the material world. And so they give you very material, 3D, logical, pragmatic reasons why something shouldn't happen, which can have a bit of a it's the cautionary tale, but it's also a little bit like it's seriously only looking at the cons list. It's almost like fear mongering a little bit, even if it comes from a good place. Three of Pentacles. I think the person that does this would say, I'm playing devil's advocate. Yeah, but what about? But really, all they're doing is poo pooing on something that someone wants to initiate. I have the Ace of Cups right here. And I kept saying, I see somebody wanting to extend their cup. On one side of this, we've got a focus on the material world between the devil and the Three of Pentacles. This is work and building your material foundation and focusing on that and building in that arena. And then on the other side of the Ace of Cups, we have the Six of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, which is it's the receiving of something you're lacking right now. It's the start of something that you don't have. What do they not have? At the center of it, the Ace of Cups. And it feels as if it's like, where do I put my cup? Where do I put my focus? Why are we bringing this up? This was the turmoil, the hermit, trying to figure this out. Seven of Swords, really wanting to make sure that you didn't fall for any kind of illusion or deceiving yourself. There was definitely this back and forth. That's why the hermit mode was important, or going within the self. But what were you meaning on like take your own advice? Because it's almost as if it's like if somebody else was in this position, and you knew that somebody was at the end of a journey, I feel like you would never encourage somebody to stay put, stay stagnant on a journey that's done. You would encourage and uplift somebody to go ahead and be the fool again, to live and experience life. You wouldn't encourage someone to pour all of their cup into the material. You know the value of the spiritual, the emotional, the experience of something. But that's not the advice people are giving you. We have the Knight of Swords that I'm seeing on the split. Knight of Swords talks about a complete pivot, a 180. It is a no going back. Are you ready for your next great adventure? Is what they're saying. Knight of Cups again. It definitely gives a feeling of, should I focus on financial, material, um, stability and growth, um, work? Devil does bring in that Capricorn energy, business. Is that where I should be pouring my heart into right now? Is that really what's most important? Is that going to be the most satisfying to my soul? Remember, been down this path before, and maybe you fell for that shit the first time around as the fool, but this isn't your first rodeo. This isn't your first time around the track. You are the fool, but wise with discernment. You know better than that. He's extending his hand as if he's inviting somebody to go along with him. See that? You also are well aware that you can build in life and have love, that it's not this either or fallacy. And you also understand, having been around uh, on the Fool's Journey once, we have these time frames and these arbitrary goals and visions for ourselves that place parameters and weights on us as we're moving through the Fool's Journey that you realize are not necessary, not warranted, and kept you from experiencing and living and enjoying the journey. It's like loosening those expectations or these false illusions of time frames of you don't have success unless you value the journey in and of itself now far more than you ever did. And you most certainly want somebody. I feel like I'm reading for the person that would reach out to somebody. Knight of Cups, you, because the Knight of Cups also has, on this one, it has the quill. So there's a level, and the letter. So it's like a level. There's a level of communicating this. There's a level of expression here, with the cup. Like, I want to express my love in the way and fashion that I want to. Containing it was one of the burdens. Not sharing it, not having someone to share it with, was one of the burdens you carried with you the first time around. You understand the benefit of keeping the waters flowing. So while one person may be advising you to focus on money and focus on career and focus on getting secure, are we really? Are we really ever going to be able to, for certain, secure anything in the world as it is right now? Powers that be have made sure that the only individuals that have any semblance of security are a handful of motherfuckers in this world. Everybody has the potential to be on the chopping block. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing is certain. It's like knowing that you could be pouring yourself all into the material and it'll all be for naught any given day. You understand it, the level of fleeting this is. So you're just choosing differently this time. And it's not to say that you've walked through life without love, but it does feel as though the focus of that love was always the material world, not the journey. It was always a focus on security, not the journey, not the experience. And whatever, however that may have panned out before, that is not how you want to do it anymore. We have the Knight of Cups with the Six of Wands, giving the sense of you can have success in love in this romance. And that whatever success, fleeting or permanent, you may have, you want to enjoy that with somebody. It when you have that success alone, you immediately fill in another rung on the ladder for you to climb. Temperance. Because you want to enjoy. You want that balance. You understand now. Ten of Wands, you don't want to do it alone. I fucking told you. You don't want to do it alone. So somebody's focus is turning. I can't set with this Queen of Cups. We're going to ask about the Queen of Cups because somebody has their sights set on somebody. I'd like to know about the Queen. They want me to go to Golden Universal. Who's the Queen of Cups? All right. I'm just gonna. Lord of your wish fulfillment. Your desired wish. Like, oh, exactly what I want. The exact person I would want. Ten of Pentacles. What? Okay. With the fucking Page of Cups on the bottom. Okay. Okay. Ten of Wands, you don't want to do it anymore alone. It's like you've found someone you'd want to do this with, this life with. I want to. But the energy, it just feels different. I feel like the answer to your turmoil all along was finding the right one to do this life with. To figure out how to where your priorities lied, what really was important, and finding someone that actually aligned with that. I think you've I don't know if this Queen of Cups realizes that this is them, that you're feeling this way, but I feel like there's hope or a sense of promise. I mean, you definitely feel like you know what you want. This Queen of Cups feels like a life partner, not a business partner. And I don't know if not that you can't do business with your life partner, but I feel like whoever I'm reading for has been with individuals where it was like it felt very contractual. Like there wasn't us against the world, but it wasn't feel like the entire foundation was built on goals and achievements and the next rung of the ladder and um, sense of duty and purpose and like I don't know. I just feel like an action plan. Like we had an action plan and we were tackling it together. It feels so. I don't feel the softness. I don't feel like I can sense an intellectual depth, but like soul connection and like a willingness to just sit and simmer and experience that love without the goal feels like the goal there's I just feel lots of goals that propelled a relationship forward and that without those because nothing is certain right now in this world. The relationship or relationships or the you look back on those relationships, I can't tell, feel like they were you realize they were not what you wanted. Like, I don't want just what's the next thing we can achieve or obtain or blah, blah, blah. That's not what you want. It's not what you want. And so there's a Queen of Cups. That's the kind of energy you want, where the focus of the relationship isn't goals, isn't the material world or what you can attain, it's the love you share. You want that to be the basis for whatever legacy you leave and whatever you build. You want a family with someone who's open and receptive and connected and heart led. And that's who you want to reach out to in hopes that there's more. You could have more. Okay, Spirit, what do you want to speak on this? They just brought me back to the fact that this is a weekend read. So there very well may be something like this happening over the weekend, or someone is encouraged to do this. 10 of Cups. I don't want my life to just be about the very next thing. Okay, now what? Okay, now what? Okay, now what? I want to enjoy my life. I don't want to just be happy with the person that I am and uh, how I choose to show up in the world, but I want to be happy with my life. Someone wants to begin something because they want it. This is the idea of this is when true desire and contentment within, but it's reciprocated. The energy that is created and the synergy created between individuals that share that kind of love and connection. It makes one happy with their life no matter what's going on. It sustains the forward movement. So even if you've experienced the love, it feels like you never felt like you still had that 10 of wands. Like it was still you against the world. I'm gonna sneeze again. I can tell it. Gosh dang it. I'm sorry for those who have earbuds in. We have the King of Cups, the true match, or the Hierophant. They want something that has staying power that lasts. They truly, truly want to walk through this life with somebody. It does require them to leave or walk away from something in order to get what they want. Their wish is this Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups could be a very particular person that they have their sights set on, or this proverbial archetype of an individual. But it does require you, to leave something behind. Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups represents things that once meant something to you, things that once were valuable to you, that you felt like filled you up, but now they're all empty. And you have to leave the eight to get to the nine. The Ace of Cups, Seven of Swords, Five of Cups. But it's hard to do that when you are experiencing, that's the turmoil. That's the turmoil right there. Five of Cups, feeling like I didn't get it right before. I've not been able to do it before. The three cups that are spilled, it's like that's considered your present situation. Like, it's something about it is, you have to turn away. Like, again, it's just everything that's gone wrong. Feeling like you've been wrong. Seven of Swords, like, you always get it wrong. You lie to yourself. Maybe this isn't real. I feel like I'm feeling into the turmoil that you experienced. This proverbial Queen of Cups that you've wanted and desired, and the way that you see that playing out, and how you want someone to show up, and how you want to walk through life with somebody. Maybe it doesn't exist. Maybe I'm lying to myself. Maybe I don't seem to ever get it right. So what if it's just an illusion? What if it's an illusion that I'll ever be able to get this, to receive this? And that's what made all that advice you received seem so real, legitimate. But again, they're saying you wouldn't give that advice. Follow your own advice. Anything else before we wrap up? That's trying to come out. We'll see what it is. Ten of Swords. Whatever this is, very well may knowingly, like, you're knowingly ending something. You are knowingly saying it's done. This adventure's done. With the Eight of Pentacles, I do feel like you're moving forward. It is a bit sad because I feel like so much work went into it. That's the Eight of Pentacles. So much time, effort, and work went into all the things of the past. And it's almost like outstayed the welcome. You stayed longer than you should have. The magician with the two of swords. A magician, he's manifesting something, but he plays an active part in that. He knows he can make this happen. Two of swords is all he's got to do is choose. All he's got to do is decide. So you cannot ignore this. There's something that you feel very deeply. You feel so guided and pushed in a different direction. You know the advice that you've been given is wrong. Either you've just come to this conclusion, you've made this discovery and this change within, and so this weekend like symbolizes or embarks your first movement away from like in the direction that you want to go, or you come to this conclusion that somehow changes things internally and as a result externally. Because how you move, operate, the choices and actions that you take are all going to be dependent upon this change, this transformation that happens. You just so either you just had this discovery or you're going to have it this weekend. If you just had this discovery and it quieted the turmoil and you just come to a knowing, then you very well may be making that move that you were told not to for so long. You're going to garner the courage to do that. That is a reaching out. I mean, this feels like I'm compelled. It very well might also be something about the nighttime because the stars and the moon are only out at night. This is in the dark. You don't know exactly how perfectly it's going to go. Like you don't realize that. You don't know how perfectly it's going to go. You don't realize that. That's not what I was trying to say at all. Um, but there's both the moon and the star talk about feeling compelled, feeling driven to do something. Okay, anything else, Spirit? Empress. That fertile future that you want, this Queen of Cups is real. It makes whatever you do in life easier. I don't know how to explain it. Ace of Pentacles. It makes because the Empress helps to grow whatever is. Be careful of keeping yourself stuck. This is about repeating patterns, repeating cycles, and I don't see anything favorable coming from that. You're not chained to anything unless you choose to be. That's the devil. Anything else? Nine of Swords, very, very like anxious about making a move. King of Swords. King of Swords does talk about making decisions, but remember, it's not a decision unless you act. Otherwise, it's just a thought. Now's the time to be decisive. It's time to make a decision. Right? I'm gonna leave it there. I hope that this message finds whoever is meant for. I hope you guys have a fantastic and wonderful day, and I will see you at the next read. Bye.